Everybody, Jerome right here, and once again you're joining me on my Jerome Right channel. Okay, in this video I'm going to be going after artwork that is describing the devil or Satan devouring man or eating man. So if you Google that, these images that I'm utilizing would actually come up. I would like to actually state before I actually continue into this video that in these eras of these paintings being created back in the 13th, 14th, 15th, and those centuries on forward, you have to know that the laws were not lapsed when it came to creating drawings and stuff like this. These artworks, these paintings were actually governed over by that of ancient rooted religion and ancient rooted royalty. So these paintings, I mean, an artist would not have the guts or the balls to go out and create a painting like this without having a support base behind those two groups. You see what I'm saying? This was back then. It was martial law. I mean, you create something like this, I mean, you be taken up before and damn near be hung. I mean, the laws were a whole lot more lax back then than they are now. All right. So therefore, what I'm stating is that when you should automatically be saying to yourself, then, first of all, why would an artist create something like this, and what was going through their mind? Second of all, what kind of an own experience did they have to create something like this? And third of all, how come no one stood up to say anything about it? And now they're making it to in our time, and here you have me making a video about it. All right. So, but anyway, I'm going to go through this because I only have 15 minutes to discuss this video. This painting, anything dealing with Satan. If you the later back in time you go, you'll notice that Satan is created in a dark color. You know what I mean? Before Satan was red, they depicted Satan as being an ape or closer to that of an African. The reason why this is being because a truth was being told. The truth was being told is how mankind evolved from apes through to African, and then how genes were being pulled out of that to genetically change mankind, and then they turned into Caucasian. Who responsible for this? It's ancient rooted religion and ancient rooted royalty. So these characters, if you go back in the earlier paintings, you will find out what's going on. Now this is supposed to be Satan, and Satan is contained here. All right, let's go this way. I'm gonna give it to you this way. Let's go this route. Forget this as being Satan. Let's look at this as being a person of color, an African. Okay. Now the African is chained, so the African is enslaved. Okay, so we have an enslaved African, chained. Now, obviously, this African is being fed genetics, genes, because this African is eating in a cannibal way other beings. In this case, shown to be Caucasian. So this African is being fed Caucasian, Asian genes. So now this African's body is contaminated, and now this African is spitting out of its vagina. So this African has now become female. These altered genes. And this is what this is describing. Now, there's a gene pooling. Now, check this out. There's different levels of this extraction of this contamination and extraction that is going on. So what is going on? So what's happening here? So over here on this side here, you see a cardinal figure. See the cardinal with his hat? Over here, I thought that this was a Popo's cap, but it might be ancient rooted royalty a cap, because how I arrived at changing my mind there, because this is definitely a cardinal's cap here. You come down here, and there's a Popo figure here, with the Popo cap that we see today, standing right here in line, and you see them pulling these genes in both directions as they're coming out. So you're probably saying, Jerome, this is too crazy. Well, people, you have a depiction of Africans and Caucasians, and then even in here, you even see the mix of people of being people of color. Genes being described, and it's showing you a digestion Through oral digestion, these genes going in blood, and it's showing you, and semen, because of the way they're biting, and then it coming out through the reproductive system, going in and coming out. I mean, there's nothing more for you to understand. Now, here's another image, and I've just seen something here, and these genes can be described for what they is, because it describes ancient rooted religion and ancient rooted royalty. Now, I'm going to show you something here. Look at this here. You have an ape body, and showing you that it's transforming, morphing a Caucasian likeness, like almost like a Neanderthal. A transformation. Now, you have these clergy down here in the picture. Now look at this figure devouring a being. Okay, going to, again, a Caucasian body going into what is appearing to be that of a monkey ape. We all know that apes are associated with Africans in Africa, so don't be surprised at that. Now, if you notice, these two clergy officials are reaching up and grabbing hair from there, telling you that after this genetic altering has taken place, this bridging, they're now doing an extraction. And how do you do an extract? It shows you through hair. We all know that hair is symbolizing that of genes. Even in the navel area, there's a creature here, that of a cat line. You see the nostrils there. All of this is showing you that there's genetic attack and contamination of these beings. And there was an extraction, and these people controlled it. Clergy, ancient rooted religion and ancient rooted royalty. I mean, let me bring you in closer here so you can get a better look at that. But you can Google the devil devouring. What in the hell are they doing? A person getting eaten, blood all over the place, the face being changed, and these guys pulling on the hair, except for what I just described. And then you get a picture of the nose of the cat right there, showing you which genes would cause, which genes was bridged over, and then showing you an extraction. Now, up in one of the faces here, I'm going to put an arrow on it. I'm going to show you how they got this off. These paintings describe exactly who they are talking about. Let me see where I'm going to put an arrow here. They are showing you exactly who they are describing. These paintings are a grail as to what is happening. I put an arrow at the nose of this one figure right there. Look at the end of the arrow, and you'll see a face of a crowned figure hidden in the nose there. I'm going to bring it in close. Look at the crown. You see my arrow right there? Look at the face of that queen wearing a crown encoded right there on the side of the nose. You see that? I can tell you the genes that they are describing by this and all. You see the face? Look at the crown. My arrow highlights it right there at that nose of that figure, pointing out to the side. If I can hold it steady. You see that? Now I'm going to go slowly out and look at the face coming. Look at the face and the crown comes in. You see that? These people are describing genes through art on how genetic bridgings were made. Now, we also know that through the breast milk, which also is described. So this is telling me that this is a female. This beast is a female. How do I know that? Because there's a description at the breast of breast milk being contaminated, which is also another form. I'm going to show you. Let me see here. This is, I got to get used to this here, people. Look at the face of the ancient dinosaur looking like creature there. There's the bottom lip. There's the open mouth. There's the nostril. There's the horns on the creature's head, nostril area, and there's the eye. A head of a dinosaur, which is referencing ancient rooted genes, which evolved out of that creature through that we evolved from. And then there is the actual nipple of the beast. Now, if we go to the other side, you have to turn the image to see what it is actually describing, which I'm actually going to do for you right now. And if we turn it this way, I forget which face we get. I have to look. Hold on. Which face do we get this way? Okay, this direction, we get an ape's face. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but this is over the nose, bridge of the nose area of the ape. The ape's face is encoded in here, which I can actually see on my side. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it from where you're at. Now, if you turn this, check this out. I'm going to turn it. There's another face morphing that same ape's face, and I'm probably going to have to take and that's the dinosaur here of the Medusa looking woman right there. I'm gonna bring it in. Hold on. You see that, people? Forehead, eye, nose, mouth, and the hair creates the worms out of the head. I know what all of this means, and this is the nipple. This is the other nipple opposite the dinosaur that I just showed you, and it's saying through the genes. Again, another description of DNA is a female's breast milk. DNA that these people are describing what is happening. These gene alterings. Look at that. The Medusa woman, the mythical woman that we were taught to be just a myth. And yet you hear all of it. And another thing too, you notice that you hear a lot of artists talking about Medusa. Even Rihanna, if you Google Rihanna with snakes in her head right now, Rihanna is on GQ magazine with a bunch of snakes in her head looking like Medusa. All of these implications today are something that was taken from these times, and it can all be described and interlinked in describing what these people are talking about. You are talking about Illuminati and secret societies and this, that, the third. And these people that are involved in this stuff are actually just taking something from our ancestors, which can be read forward. To understand what I'm doing here is to take away their power. There's no more secrets, because this is what they're describing. Again, here's another image. And it's describing the same thing. We have a depiction of hell, the demonic figure. Now, in this time, they have it looking more so like a devil, and show a figure in Little Red like Riding Hood. We all know how that arrives at what you call them figures, the royalty figures, and it's showing this person being fed, poured in from a horn, which I know what this means. Okay, and if you look closely at what's being poured into the mouth, almost seemingly like blood, if you look at the depictions of that inside of there, and those is faces. Look at the faces and what is being poured into the mouth. I see a chin, an eye, and those. There's multi-dimensional heads in there. There's heads, and it's showing you, it's describing to me which genes are being poured into this body in this genetic manipulation process. People, what they are describing, the ancient depictions of hell, is talking about a cauldron, a cocktail, and it's showing you what is being created. I can describe all of it, because you know why? I am paranormally linked to all of this, and the art that was created helps me describe to you and show you what is being told by these stories. And this is the reason why this bizarre and unusual paintings can be found throughout the history of our world. But you know, amazingly enough, all of these officials, kingships and queenships, cannot explain to you what's going on, but yet I can show you the encodings and the encryptions and describe to you in detail what is happening. Because you know why? Because it's reality. They're showing you how from ape came Africans, came Asians, and so forth and so forth, and how there is a cyclination of these genes through gene restructuring. My name is Jerome Wright. I'm going to end this video there. If I could. martial law. I mean, you create something like this, I mean, you be taken up before and damn near be hung. I mean, the laws were a whole lot more lax back then than they are now. All right. So therefore, what I'm stating is that when you should automatically be saying to utilizing would actually come up. I would like to actually state before I actually continue into this video that in these eras of these paintings being created back in the 13th, 14th, 15th, and those centuries on forward, you have to know that the laws were paintings. I mean, an artist would not have the guts or the balls to go out and create a painting like this without having a support base behind those two groups. You see what I'm saying? This was back then. Everybody, Jerome Wright here, and once again, you're joining me on my Jerome Wright channel. Okay, in this video, I'm going to be going after artwork that is describing the devil or Satan devouring man or eating man. So if you Google that, these images that I'm not lapsed when it came to creating drawings and stuff like this. These artworks, these paintings were actually governed over by that of ancient rooted religion and ancient rooted royalty. So these paintings